Oh yes, folks, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. We waited a long 12 months for this. This is the NBA Finals preview video as the Cleveland Cavaliers will take on the Golden State Warriors, a rematch of last year's finals. Now, for all you Golden State fans out there, man, I think that I should just say this for you. I mean, when you went down 3-1 against the Thunder, I mean, there's a lot of people that counted this team out, but you have to remember that this is the greatest, or one of the greatest, regular season teams of all time. 73 wins. And that's something that nobody could have taken away from the Golden State Warriors. And winning 73 wins means nothing if you don't win the NBA championship. And the reigning defending champions will have their chance against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yes, this is the preview video. NBA Finals 2016. Warriors versus Cavaliers. Now let me go ahead and jump right into this. Let me get into the coaching matchup. All right. Steve Kerr versus Tyronn Lue. Now I'm gonna say it like this. All right. This is one of the things that kind of pisses me off about the NBA. All right. Now, granted, Steve Kerr is technically the head coach of the Golden State Warriors. Technically. All right. And I know that at his press conference, he gave a little bit of credit to Luke Walton, all right, who should have been named the coach of the year. But technically, technicalities, a lot of technicalities that go into it. But you can make an argument and say that Tyronn Lue, after taking over for David Blatt, could have been coach of the year. I mean, he actually coached, the majority of his team's games this year. I thought coach of the year went to the guy that actually coached his team's games. But let me get into the actual matchup here between the coaches. Kerr's a former world champion. Lue is a very scrappy offensive player back in the day. I mean, both of these guys have similar games, similar builds. Can you believe that? Both short and very stocky. Can make a bunch of shots, man. Both of these guys super quick. Offensive minds, good offensive minds both together. I want to give Tyronn Lue more of the check mark here, for dealing with LeBron and being able to manage LeBron. All right. I'm not going to sit here and say LeBron is a diva, but LeBron's a diva. All right. And I'm not going to sit up here and say that, Steve Kerr did not have any kind of, trouble with controlling those personalities and Golden State. I don't think that Golden State has too many egos. I don't think that you look at Steph Curry and say, okay, this guy's an egomaniac, or this guy's just going to check up a bunch of shots, or looking at Draymond Green and saying Draymond Green is a maniac or something, or I know we're not going to talk about Harrison Barnes being a detrimental to the team. That's not going to happen. Of course, it's not. So I think it's very, very split. But if I have to choose one of the two, I have to go with Kerr. He willed his team back from 3-1. This team is the greatest regular season team of all time. There's nothing that you guys can say about that. There's nothing that I can say about that. I can't take that away from them. They're the reigning defending world champions and one of the greatest regular season teams of all time. Those are the facts. Can't take that away from them. Got to give a check mark to Kerr. It is what it is. Now, let's get on to the key matchups in this series, all right? For the NBA Finals, I'm going to give you guys two matchups that I want you guys to look at. And then I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a look at the bench. And then I'll give you guys an ultimate play, who I think will win. All right? Now, the key matchup here, for sure, should be LeBron versus Draymond Green. Now, Draymond Green in the last series was able to get Kevin Durant out of his element. I mean, I feel so bad for OKC, man. Up 3-1 and just couldn't put these guys away. And the reason why they couldn't is because Draymond Green is a nuisance. And I think that he'll, be able to affect LeBron like he did last year, get LeBron out of his rhythm like he did last year. I think LeBron is in a good situation this year. All right. He looks fresh. His legs look fresh. He looks like he's energized. He doesn't look like he's really trying too hard. And, Draymond Green got Kevin Durant to try really hard in that previous series, and that's the reason why towards the end of that series the tide started to turn. Durant forcing up shots that he usually doesn't force up. Draymond Green was directly responsible for that. And will he be able to do that and pierce off on LeBron? We're gonna see. I think it's a great matchup. I think that everybody should watch out for it. It's the matchup that I think that everybody should watch out for. All right, for sure, the number one matchup. Now, the close second matchup was definitely going to be Curry versus Kyrie Irving, and and the reason why I'm not going to list that necessarily as the matchup, I will give you the reasons why. Because both of these guys really don't play defense, and Kyrie Irving is not the offensive player that that Curry is. So I think it's a clear matchup mismatch for Kyrie Irving versus Steph Curry. All right, I think it's a mismatch. So I think that matchup goes to Curry. You can watch out for it, but I don't think that you should be too intrigued by it. All right, I want to ask the question. All right, for all those people out there, because I clearly see this complete matchup mismatch. All right, I want people to watch out for this matchup instead. Klay Thompson versus Iman Shumpert, maybe J.R. Smith. And the reason why I want them to watch out for that is because J.R. Smith is a guy that just kind of throws up shots. All right. Klay Thompson is a guy that necessarily doesn't throw up shots, but when he throws up a shot, it usually goes in. All right. I want to see how the Cleveland Cavaliers have a response, some type of response for Klay Thompson in the series. All right. Because OKC didn't have any answer for him. And that's the reason why OKC's not here. And I'm not talking about OKC, and I'm talking about Golden State right now. It's because of Klay Thompson and what he did in Game 6. All right? To get them into a Game 7 for the most part. But I want people to watch out for how the Cleveland Cavaliers defend Klay Thompson. All right. Draymond Green is a good complementary piece. He doesn't necessarily need to score in order to be a factor. That's the reason why I'm not listing him in this position. Instead, I'm putting Klay Thompson in this position because he needs to score in order for Golden State to win. You can get 40 points from out of Curry, and they can still lose. But if they get 13 points out of Klay Thompson in this series, or he averages 13 points during the NBA Finals, you can forget about a repeat, Golden State. You can forget about it. So I want you guys to watch out for how Cleveland defends Klay Thompson in the series. It's critical, very, very critical. Now, as far as the benches go, all right, these teams are pretty darn evenly matched. Can you believe that? I mean, in the last series, I went completely in on the not Golden State, but the Thunder bench for just not really being there outside of Cancer, maybe Waiters. And in this series, I mean, you got Barbosa on the Golden State side. You got Iguodala, who can be in the starting lineup or come off the bench. You got Barnes, you got Spates, you got these guys are interchangeable parts. So some of these guys I'm listing off the centers and not seeing as the starters, and they could come off the bench and just really dictate and change the pace of the game. Cleveland's got the same thing with Fry and Shumpert, as I named before. Saying those guys just come in. They got a deep bench there in Cleveland too as well. So the matchup of the benches it's a push. I mean, both benches are capable of changing the complexion of the series, but I don't necessarily think that that's something that people should keep their complete eyeballs on. All right. Now, I haven't brought up Kevin Love's name until this point, and Kevin Love has played terrible at times during this series. All right, I think that Kevin Love is a matchup problem to a certain extent for the Golden State Warriors because if Draymond Green is going to be shading off on Curry, all right, and last year, Golden State did not have to deal with Kevin Love, with Kyrie Irving. They didn't have to deal with these guys last year. All right. And now, if Kevin Love shows up in this series, he could walk away as the Finals MVP. That's how important he is to the outcome of this series. All right, because I don't think that Golden State has an answer for this guy. I really don't. maybe they can bring in Spates. Maybe they can bring in another guy like a Zealy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they can put Iguodala on them. Maybe Iguodala could kind of distract them. But if Kevin Love gets going in this series, he's a huge problem for Golden State. All right. Now, who wins this series and why? All right. Let me just say it like this. Last year, there was no Irvin, there was no Love, it was just LeBron. This year, there's Irvin, there's Love, there's LeBron. On the other side, there's Curry, there's Draymond Green, and there's Thompson. This is going to be a flat out heavyweight championship bout. It's like last year it was almost like, Cleveland's coming into the bout, banged up, but they're still on their feet, going up against the Golden State team that's at their full strength. This year, we're getting the series that we should have got last year. All right, and don't you know what? Last year, it kind of speaks on the volumes of how great of a player LeBron is to still get his team to the finals without arguably their second or third best players. All right, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love on some teams in the NBA are A1. All right, but they're A2, A3 here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really playing behind LeBron. Who wins the series and why? I'm going to say it like this. I think that, this is the greatest regular season team of all time. All right. 73 wins. And I don't think that the Cavaliers necessarily stand in their way. All right. But LeBron, whether you guys like it or not, and I know I called him a diva in the beginning of this video. He's one of a kind, man. This guy's one of the greatest of his time. All right, whether we like it or not, he's the greatest of his time. Somebody said that he's the Roman Reigns of the NBA. Oh well, hey, I don't compare him to Roman Reigns. All right, and I know that there's a WWE reference here, and there's nothing fake about this. But LeBron's not necessarily hated or anything. He's earned the respect. All right, of everybody that watches basketball, we respect his ability, and I think that Golden State, after coming back from 3-1, I think it's just too much, man. I think that they repeat as champions. I think that they win this series in 7 games. But I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron and those boys won it in 6, because it's one of those situations in which, Golden State should be even fortunate that they're even here. All right, being down 3-1, going down 3-1 to a team in which was just playing so savagely and just taking out everybody in the in the OKC Thunder. So let me know how you guys feel down below. Do you disagree with my point? This is the NBA Finals here on YouTube. Make sure that you drop a like. Let me know how you guys feel down in the comments, and make sure that you check out my Game 7 reaction video down below. You've wasted about 13 minutes so far, 14 something minutes with the intro. Thank you. All right. Until next time, folks.